Chapter 1. Hell couldn't be any worse than traveling southbound on the Garden State Parkway in the summer. The only blessing for Zach Cohen was that someone else was behind the wheel. It was nice of the sponsors of the convention to send a driver for him, saving him the hassle of driving himself. He blinked against the glare of the late afternoon sun, streaming in hot and bright through the car windows. The new contacts he got specifically for this weekend still gave him trouble, but after all these years of wearing glasses, he decided to give them a try again. This was going to be a weekend of change for him, and Zach figured he'd remake himself from the outside as well as the inside. The old him wasn't doing so well. His phone pinged with a text from his best friend, Marcus. "Knock 'em dead, and remember, go crazy and let loose. Atlantic City is like Vegas. What happens there, stays there." He should be so lucky, Zach thought morosely, staring out the car window at the endless winding ribbon of cars. Mentally, he slapped himself, remembering yesterday's conversation at breakfast. He and his two friends, Julian and Marcus, and Julian's boyfriend Nick, had met in their usual breakfast place in the city, though it was more like brunch by the time they all arrived. "Zach, are you ready for tomorrow and AC?" Marcus signaled the waiter with a circle of fingers to bring the three of them their usual mimosas and a beer for Nick. "Man, I'd love to be going to a convention there in the summer. Nothing but sun, sand, and Speedos. Have you depleted all the men in Manhattan that you need to expand to cruising beach tourists in Jersey now, Marcus?" Julian quirked a brow and grinned at both him and Marcus. "Besides, Zach is going there for business, not pleasure." Zach opened his mouth, but as usual, Marcus cut him off. "Pfft, bullshit. Zach needs to go have some fun and get laid." "That's your answer to everything, but it doesn't mean it's right for Zach," argued Julian. Nick remained quiet. He'd been with Julian long enough now to understand the dynamics of the different friendships in the group. "Now that you're in a relationship, you think that's the best thing for everyone. But what if he doesn't want one? What if, hello, sitting right here?" Zach leaned into the table and waved his hands in between the two battling best friends. "Nice that you both think you need to plan my weekend and my sex life for me, but I don't need your help." Bad enough he had his mother giving him dating advice. The last thing he needed was interference from his friends on that front. Regret glimmered in Julian's eyes. "Sorry, Julian pointed to Marcus, "gets me riled up. We're in our 30s, not 21, fresh out of college and looking for hookup after hookup. Not everyone is made for monogamy and a relationship, Julie. You found yours, and I'm glad for you and Nick, but don't shove it down the rest of our throats like it's the only way to be happy. Some of us are perfectly satisfied the way we are, taking care of number one." Marcus sipped his drink and shrugged. "I like my men the way I like Skittles, in every color of the rainbow. Besides," his eyes gleamed, and Zach had a sinking suspicion whatever was going to come out of his friend's mouth would be something outrageous. "If Zach is going to Atlantic City, we should have a bet of some kind." "I don't gamble," said Julian. He braced his elbows on the table. "The business is getting started, and I don't throw away money on some stupid play of the cards." "You were more fun before you started acting like an old married lady." From years of experience with Marcus's shenanigans, the look on his face spelled trouble for Zach. "I wasn't talking to you anyway. I meant Zach." He had to hand it to his friend. No matter, it was probably completely outrageous and probably involved sex toys he'd never heard of. Against his better judgment, Zach couldn't help but be intrigued. "I'll probably regret this later, but what were you thinking?" asked Zach, and heard Julian's groan of frustration, as well as Nick's laughter. "Now, why are you encouraging him? You should know better." Marcus grinned at Zach with the devil in his eyes, and it was like they were back in middle school again. Wild, beautiful, and crazy, Zach couldn't remember a time in his life without Marcus by his side. They'd known each other since they were babies and were the brothers neither one ever had. "Over the years, I've learned to humor Marcus. Otherwise, he'll be after me like a dog with a bone." Zach gestured with his hand. "Come on, spill it."